Now dip, dip, turn around the mama, then swing them hips. Her backside, make you wanna backslide. Dip, turn around the mama, then swing your hips.
What's up, y'all? How y'all doing, baby?
I can see it's your
Yeah, baby. Y'all doing all right there, baby. I see y'all looking good there, baby. You know what I'm saying? Say, man, I had this young sheep, you know what I'm saying, there, baby. I was grinding in it, you know what I'm saying? Let know how a real player do. I know y'all young, and you know what I'm saying? Y'all don't understand how the love doctor good, baby. You know what I'm saying? You know, we be grinding like that in them, baby. We let them know what's up. I stand up in it all night, boy. All night I'm up in that thing, boy. I'm letting them sheep know what I do, because I'm back and forth in that thing, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, get wetter than the ocean, you know what I'm saying? Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Y'all don't know about that right there, baby. Every girl gets it at least 2-3 days in a row. Non-stop. I don't even need no pills, baby. I just be getting it on that thing there, boy. You know what I'm saying? What's up there, baby? Yeah.
Come here, young player. Oh, I hit this girl. She looked better than new money at the end of the month. Let me tell you what happened. Man, she was fatter than frog hair.
You should have warned the brother.
I had a woman, but I didn't care.
No, then.
You see, baby, I'm the love doctor.
Maybe you should know.
I had to go there. See her backside. Made me want to backslide.
I'm a sinner, baby.
I had to get inside those thick thighs.
Come on now.
Finger licking like church's chicken.
Dang, I'm hungry.
Horizontal fellowship is what I'm after.
Amen, church.
Too wet, baby, like a natural disaster.
George Bush.
Somebody call FEMA.
2 minutes ain't enough. Ooh. 2 minutes ain't enough. Ooh. 2 minutes ain't enough. Yeah. Ooh. 2 minutes ain't enough. Ooh. 2 minutes ain't enough.
Okay, so let me tell y'all this right here. I had the little young sheep.
What's going on, man?
I was busting that young sheep, boy. Sheep was wet as hell, you know what I'm saying? You need to call FEMA, you know what I'm saying? That's how wet it was, baby.
Wet.
You know what I'm saying?
He called himself the love doctor.
The love doctor. Oh, girl, I heard what he said about you.
Wait, what did he say?
Girl, he said he was standing up in it for like 2 hours or more.
More like sitting down. You couldn't feel it.
What?
Did he just put the head in?
Look, check this out here, right here, look. She was backing off that thing like Trump was backing off them taxes. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying, baby? I was up in that thing, that boy. I was up in there. I was standing up in it, boy. I was standing there at 10 for 3-4 days straight. All up in that thing right there, that boy. Yeah, 3 or 4 days straight. I ain't need no blue pills or nothing, baby.
No pill.
I'm telling you, boy,
Lay
they need to bronze my stuff. I'm so good there, baby. Say, you see what I'm saying? Say, I need to bronze my stuff. I'm so good there, baby. Yeah. They don't call me the love doctor for nothing. I write your prescription in the morning. I write your prescription in the morning.
Very easy.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. They don't know about that, baby. They don't know. I was up in it, though. I'm telling you that, boy. I'm telling you, boy, that boy, look, she didn't want no more of that right here.
I thought I was going to stand up in it,
Man, this is good.
but only after 2 minutes.
Sit down, boy.
I was down for the count. Somebody help this player out.
Man down.
Her smack madam was like Debo. I swear I don't want no more.
That's my bike, Paul.
Coochie like this will make a sane man crazy.
Kanye West.
Make you want to shoot up the club and give a whole bunch of babies.
The wins.
But I'm the love doctor, and I ain't playing that game. Let me grab my
Where's
shoes
my pink gators?
before she be wearing my name.
2 minutes ain't enough.
Wasn't my fault. It was too good, baby. Good Lord, it's some good stuff.
2 minutes ain't enough.
You gonna have me addicted to this like crack, baby. Oh, but your crack is better, baby.
2 minutes ain't enough.
God dang, did your kids come from that? They probably slid right on out, baby. but you got that wet. I'm not trying to be a too many man. Please, baby, understand. Two pump chump. I don't know how to say.
2 minutes ain't enough.
Girl, you must got a slip and slide. What the hell you got inside?
2 minutes ain't
I
enough.
can't handle it, baby. Call my mama, call my daddy. Call Bishop Jakes.
2 minutes ain't enough.
I just got baptized. Oh, Lord, am I still a sinner?
2 minutes ain't enough.
120 seconds, you should have got that, baby. Don't get mad because I beat you to the punch, girl.
2 minutes ain't enough.
Now dip, turn around the mama, then swing them hips. Her backside, make you wanna backslide. Dip, turn around the mama, then swing your hips.
I can say it's your beauty, but it's definitely your booty.
Apple bottom jeans.
You got that COVID, and you are definitely infecting me.
Contagious.
Girl, I can't breathe every time I see them jeans.
Asthma.
Look like you got 2 midgets in them jeans. Bushwick.
Welcome to Funny Business, a show all about comedy. I'm your host, Walter Perry. I want to thank you all tonight for joining us. It's guaranteed to be, I swear, a lot of laughs. Just talking to these guys earlier, I'm ready for what's to come. The comedy scene in San Antonio has grown, and we should grow with it. These comics here work very hard to bring you those laughs every single day. And we want to give them their flowers and present them with the platform to be able to share their gifts with you. And tonight, my guests are some of the hottest comedians you have ever seen, not only on the local scene, but outside of San Antonio. And tonight, they're going to give you their perspectives from everything from joke stealing, how to be a good comic, and, of course, Cat Williams. So let me introduce my guests. I'm going to start to my left. He goes by the name of King Quasi. He's part of the Loud Pack Boys. Let's give him a round of applause, guys. If you want to catch King Quasi, you can catch him at Uptown Comedy Lounge and also in the House of Comedy in Plano, Texas. Yes. All right.
January 24, Plano, Texas.
Okay. He also has a little saying when he gets on stage. He don't work with anybody but the police.
That's backwards, actually. I work with everybody but the police.
Oh, you work with everybody but the police.
He just threw me into the snitch category.
He made you
Just
to a
that fast.
snitch. Tossed in white.
All the views finna go down. They be like, oh, we didn't know we was watching First 48 again. What's going on?
So my far left, you already know who he is. He right now has a special called I Shouldn't Say This. My man Ray Can't Get Right. Give him a round of applause, everybody.
Thank y'all. Thank y'all for the slow clap like the 80s. I appreciate that.
Thank you for coming out, Ray. Now to my right, man, this man needs no introduction. He's a man of many talents. I've been knowing him for a long time. I remember when he first started. Man, my man Clifton Simmons, actor. I just saw his commercial. Clifton Simmons. You want to say a couple words real quick?
What's going down, baby? Holding it down like some staples. We getting it in. Countdown City.
All right, y'all. And also to my far right is my man Vance Bradford. He's with Tan TV. He's going to give us some insight about the comedy industry from a manager's point of view and from an industry point of view. He can tell you how to best market yourself and how to position yourself as an artist when you're dealing with a manager. So tonight,
We got to clap for Vance, too.
yeah, clap for Vance too. He's been in the industry how long, brother?
Man, over 30 years, bro.
Over
We gotta
30
clap for
years,
that.
brother. We have somebody that's missing, of course, it's AP. He's probably, I don't know, still at work. I don't know what he's doing, but he's late. And we're going to continue the show because it's all about us. Yeah. So tonight, audience, this is our first time doing this. So we want you guys to really just embrace this. This is not the last time we're going to do it. We believe that the comedy scene in San Antonio is something that's very important. Who in here does not like to laugh? With everything that's going on in our communities right now, laughter is what we need, and we need to heal through laughter. And I'm just really glad that these brothers are taking their time to really, work hard to bring you the best laughs possible. So we want to, again, give them their flowers and also create the platform so that way they can promote themselves in other comics moving forward. They can promote themselves, and anybody in the comedy industry, they can promote themselves. So we're going to get started real quick with our first question. What led you guys to comedy? And I'll start over here to Mr. Can't Get Right. What actually led you to saying, this is what I want to do as a comic?
Well, first, thank you for sharing. Let me share your platform. Shout out to my little brother, Legacy City, the Street Legion Studios. Been a fool my whole life. Like, I just like to make people laugh. It's always, first of all, when I looked in the mirror, God said, you funny. He didn't say the nigga just told me I was funny. I was like, damn, God, that's how you talk to me? But I just like making people laugh. It feels good. It's almost like busting a nut. I wasn't supposed to say that. Are we supposed to be clean? I'm sorry.
Hey, man.
I'm sorry. I didn't know.
Yeah,
Clifton's here. I didn't know. I saw you came in with the
bro,
first Sunday
live.
suit on. I didn't know.
Just come on in.
Deacon, I'm sorry, Deacon.
Okay, I'll tell.
But no, did this motherfucker really answer the phone during my shit? Put your shit down, nigga.
Hey, man.
You ain't Lil Wayne.
He did it for his son. I did it for my friend because it was Alvin. He was outside. The door was locked.
But his brother didn't even answer the phone. Ain't that some shit?
Hey, man,
Anyway, can I finish talking?
Yeah, man.
See,
you can't
that's
be
why we don't
answering
get
the phone
along
while
in
you
San
talking,
Antonio.
bro.
These motherfuckers, this is rude ass shit. You know, he's outside, snitch ass nigga. He already told you he was a snitch.
Look at
Dallas,
him
watch
treat
out
you.
for me. He's gonna play no.
This is a big part of why the San Antonio comedy scene need help.
Because niggas cut us off in the middle of my damn question. But anyway, I just love to make people laugh. Thank you. I love to make people laugh. It really is a gift. Most people don't understand comedy is a gift because you are controlling a room. You are, no matter your age, your stage, your social economic status. If a person, a comic, any one of these great comics in this room can make you laugh at the same time, that is an art form. That is a gift. And people just think it's all about ha-has. No, we work on this shit. Yeah. You all right, Deacon? You beat the shit out yourself with that door.
You got to use the restroom?
No, I had to close my car door.
Well,
I'm interrupting your shit too.
I'm gonna answer my phone again too. No,
That's crooked.
no, man. I think Ray touched on something that's real in the sense of most people who do comedy are natural comedians. Like that's something that you just your gift to be able to take things and make it funny for whatever reason. And but the thing that brought me to comedy was I had a different job and I was in the streets. I won't go into too much detail. But I was in a place in my life where I was trying to make a transition and I was trying to figure out what I could do that I didn't have to go to school for, and still kind of be, parenting, but also do something that was like natural to me. And I was in my 30s, so I knew it wasn't gonna be rap. So I wrote some jokes and went to open mic, and that's how I started.
I grew up as the class clown in my school, and I wanted to be a rapper. And I was doing stand-up comedy as a hobby. And one day I got into some legal trouble, and I was like, you know what? They don't do background checks for stand-up comedy. And so I started applying myself, took it more serious, and I like doing it. I really consider myself more of an entertainer than a stand-up comedian. And so comedy was paying bills, so
That's interesting.
and I like it.
So, before we get to the latecomer,
That's a big brother thing. You can tell, right? You can tell Big Brother like flexing this shit right there.
The latecomer, pause. Mr. Bradford, from a manager's perspective, how did you get into that business? Like, what compelled you to say, hey, I want to start, I want to start managing. I want to start managing artists, and I want to start getting into that side of it.
Actually, man,
Before you get into it, we're about to get ready to go to a commercial. So,
I'll hold tight.
yeah, hold tight. We're about to go to a commercial. Just hold that thought.
All right.
Myself, I done been shot and fucking stabbed. Yeah, nigga. Behind my kids. No, I got stabbed because this dude called my daughter ugly. Well, all right. All right, really, he didn't call her ugly. He said she looked like her ugly ass daddy. But that's the same thing.
Fuck them kids.
Little bastard.
Don't mean I don't love them, but fuck them. It's a goddamn shame. Make me want to change my name.
Funny business, and as you can see, they're being funny right now. My name is Walter Perry. I'm your host, and we're back. Before we get into Mr. Bradford's comment, we want to go ahead and recognize the latecomer who came into the room, who did not respect time, who knew that I paid for this, and somebody's not really respecting my time. So I'm going to remember this when I order T-shirts from him. So can we please give a round of applause to the East Side raised, Sam Houston raised, my little pillhead, picklehead, gobstopper head brother, Alvin the comedian Perry. Comedian Alvin Perry. Okay, let me get it right. Say a little bit why you came in late and just real quick so we can get to Mr. Bradford's comment.
Oh, I had to pick up something on the other side of town, so it just took me a while to get.
Okay, can you stop texting mother? Can you stop texting mother? She's gonna pick up her laundry. You can get her for groceries later. So just stop texting your mama.
I'm texting somebody else so they can pick up something while we're here.
All right. So we're gonna get back to you in a second. We want to get back to Mr. Bradford. Mr. Bradford, tell us a little bit about why you got into the comedy industry as a manager and why you chose to go that route, and just tell us a little bit about that.
Well, actually, I started out promoting, being a promoter. And so I started promoting, and we ended up doing a lot of tours. My first client was Reginald Ballard, a.k.a. Brumman.
Okay.
Yeah, Brumman. So
Galveston.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just left Galveston with him. So we started touring and everything, and we even ended up going overseas and stuff. So make a long story short, things went crazy. So got back to the States. I got back and I started watching Comic View. And so I said, well, that's how you really win, is to get on TV.
Right.
So I said, well, I had a few cats that with me on the tour. I said, I started getting them on Comic View, and I just kind of went from there. We just kind of fell in my, because my business manager degree. So so that just kind of fell in, man. It just was doing it from ever since, man.
Oh yeah. We definitely gonna get more into the management side of that, man, of the business side of it. So, Alvin, give us your story of how you came into comedy.
I was hating.
You was hating?
Yep.
Hating on who?
Might have been. It was a couple of comedians on that show that night. I ain't gonna name them because then they gonna be in their feelings.
Name them.
But Snipes was one of them, I believe. What's the guy? Buddha, Jeff Elliott. And I think Snipes might have been on the other side. I don't think Snipes was on the show. But anyways, to me, they wasn't funny. You know what I'm saying? Wow. And Buddha hadn't even performed yet, so I don't want to say Buddha. But the people that was performing, to me, they wasn't funny. You know what I'm saying? And that's because I didn't understand comedy, but they wasn't funny to me. So I'm like, I'm funnier than these guys. So I tell little Randy, Cliff was hosting that night. I say man, let me get up there and do some comedy. So he finally came and got me. He was like, all right, man, don't disappoint me. So I knew my audience for one, so it was easy for me to cater to them. Yeah. And then I love the laughter and stuff like that. It's euphoric. So I wanted to keep on doing that, and I've been here ever since.
You need to find that clip. Like, you just kind of went in. Your style.
It's on YouTube.
Your style is completely different from that first day.
Yeah, it's on YouTube.
So yeah, you just said something interesting. You said you knew your crowd when you got out there, and that's what actually helped you build the confidence to be successful that night, correct?
Yeah, yeah.
So, playing off that, what's the difference between performing at home and performing on the road, y'all? Like, what's the difference between doing comedy here in San Antonio and then taking that same act to say Austin and other places, and what's the reaction that y'all get? Anybody?
It's easy on the road
It's easy on the road?
because they don't know you.
Okay.
And in San Antonio, people, that's right from the barbershop.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But when you're on the road, they don't know who you are. They just heard about you. Yeah. So when you bust their ass with some stuff that you said 1,000 times in San Antonio, you know what I'm saying? It's a lot easier.
Okay.
For myself, anyway.
Okay.
Cliff, you've been doing comedy a while.
What I've noticed is I got to be mindful of like regional type stuff. Like I can't be in Vegas talking about, I went to HEB because they don't. Right. Some of those people don't have HEB out in certain places, and also on the road, I will say, people treat you like a star sometimes.
They do.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you had some groupies. That's what you're trying to say on the cool.
I have a little bit of different opinion, and it's simply kind of what Cliff said. Like when you're home, I know my audience, even if it's people I don't know, but I can easily just talk about the city, say stuff that's funny about the city, and people gravitate towards it. Now, when you're on the road, comedy is different places. Like there's West Coast type of comedy, you know what I'm saying, like a New York style, different styles of comedy. Austin, I've never done good in Austin.
Why not?
I don't know.
It's like a.
What's because I hear Austin is the place to go for support. They will support you in Austin. So this is the first time I've heard somebody say they haven't ever done good in Austin.
I go there with confidence and I leave there like I got a lot to work on.
But look, it's a difference between support and like bombing, right? Because you could be in a scene where the scene is really supportive, but if you bombing, you just bombing. That's just what it is. I think one thing he touched on, and like, it kind of go back to what Ray said a little bit. When you read the room, like he's talking about he know his people because he at home. But when you develop that ability to read the room, you kind of know what's going to work and what's not because you can look at the people that's sitting there. So if you're in a room full of people, like Ray was saying, that don't know you, then you can kind of give them whatever because they don't know. Just what Cliff said is very true too. You can't be regional. If you got a bunch of regional jokes talking about walking down Walsham Road, or I was, when I was on WW White, right. but you in Milwaukee, you know what I'm saying? These people don't know what Walsham Road is.
People try to figure out the landscape.
Right.
They come here and the first thing they say is, "Where's the east?" You be like, somebody told you something. That's
Yeah. What's the Ratchets? You find out what's the Ratchets strip club. You know what I'm saying?
You might try to make a joke off of some generalizations, like what the bad side of town. Oh, it's over here. Okay, well, you can't go over to, you can't go uptown after dark because you know how they is.
And they go crazy.
Yeah, and they go crazy because they feel like it's truth to it, which it is, but it's a generalization about the bad side of town.
But it also has to do with the range, too. Because some stuff is just universal. That's why Kevin Hart works overseas. Because he's not talking about American stuff. He's talking about human stuff.
Right.
So sometimes when you expand your stuff, like I do a lot of church stuff, like Christianity is like one of the biggest religions in the world. So everything I say, people understand it. But I can't talk about black church.
Right.
Because the Hispanics going to be like, what the fuck is that? What's the deacon?
Right.
You know what I mean? So, but you can still talk about Bible stuff. But so you just have to know your range. And it takes time. It takes time with anybody, with any comedian.
Yeah, that's interesting that y'all said that. So describe the comedy scene in San Antonio. Like, do y'all feel positive that the scene is good? Do y'all see that it's growing? Do y'all see just describe it to me in your own words. Be honest too. If y'all feel like, hey man, a lot of people need a lot of work on some stuff, say that. But give people who are just knowing y'all are comics.
What
describe the scene in San Antonio.
What do you think, Bradford?
No.
If I had to describe the scene in San Antonio, I would say there's people that are doing this for a career, and there's people that are doing this for a hobby. If this is your hobby, there's nothing wrong with it being your hobby, but it's going to treat you like a hobby. If you're doing it as a career, and you can see who's doing, even if they only been doing it for like 2 months, you can tell who is serious. They don't play around at open mic. And then you got some people that just go up there and bullshit, and it can get annoying. And sometimes I'll get a little offended, but the comedy scene here, we have Blind Tiger, Upstage Comedy Lounge, Laugh Out Loud Comedy Club, a new comedy club just opened.
The station.
Upstage is black owned, right?
Yeah, Upstage is
Shout out
black
Bobby
owned.
Smith.
Shout out B. Smitty.
Yeah, shout out B. Smitty.
And we just got a new comedy club called Station Comedy Club.
Okay.
So, and then there's comedy spots, comedy rooms, once a month, theaters. You got
You had Laugh Out Loud for a long time doing the
door guy.
Yeah, doing the open mic.
Yeah, I did all. I mean, I did all open mics in the city.
Yeah.
I didn't just stick to one.
So so basically, is the comedy scene something that you would promote if somebody just came into San Antonio, like, hey man, like, who can I go see? Like, do y'all feel positive saying,
Man.
oh, go see such and such?
Nobody want to say it, man. People clicked up around here.
Yeah, well, look, I was waiting
What do
for
you mean
them
clicked
to
up? What do you
chime
mean
in and
clicked
say
up?
what they got to say, because I think everybody experiences different to some degree, but I know all of our opinions are different as far as how we view it in our perspective. I want Ray to speak on it.
Go ahead.
Because I hate it. Like, comedy scene in San Antonio is dumpster juice.
What do you mean?
Because it's fucking, like Alvin said, it's clicked up. There's a whole bunch of people that ain't serious. Like, I'm serious about this shit. I'm married to fucking comedy. So when somebody's trying to fuck my wife, just because you up there playing, I'm offended.
Right.
If I got to go to an open mic to do 5 minutes, I got to sit 3 hours because people up there playing around, or guy going to tell me the other day, I only not skipped you because I know you're going to bring the room back. Bitch, I got to work tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? So it just irritates me because I'm serious about it. Right. When you see somebody up there talking, and then the black jokes. Like, it's low key racist on the cool, because you hear a lot of, light brown people, I ain't going to say it, but they come up there, they say a little racist joke, think it's funny. Bitch, I'll beat your ass in the parking lot. You know what I'm saying? So some stuff just kind of irritates. Oh, you thought you asked me, right?
I'm glad you didn't come to the open mic.
But I'm serious with it. You know what I'm saying? Because if I leave my house to wait 3 hours to do 5 minutes, and then even the 5 minutes I do, y'all playing around, I'm like, bruh, I'm serious about this. Right. Then you got some people in the back trying to write your shit down. Yeah. I will beat them. See, I'm Glen, Texas. I'm just saying.
That joke stealing. How do y'all feel about joke stealing? And
I will punch you in the face.
Have you ever heard your joke being told by other comics here?
Yes.
What was your reaction when you heard your own joke?
I can't really say I've heard my own joke, because that's tricky. Now, I've heard people tell jokes similar to jokes that I've told, but I'll use, for instance, like, and I'm not saying I came up with "fuck them kids," but I was somebody that said it a lot, and it was my thing, right? So one time I did a show, it might have been Damon Williams or somebody, well, whoever it was, everybody said "fuck them kids." Literally, people before me, after me, and then I was like, and it kind of brought me to, well, I don't want to get off subject, but it was just like, damn, you know what I'm saying? Like, everybody said that. So it's certain things that Quality talked about, like being old, and I have jokes like that, but I don't want to, because somebody might say, well, Quality just talked about that same thing. So I have to be careful about that, because I don't want him to think that I took something from him. And even, I mean, he's not here, but there are certain jokes that Debo tells that are kind of like in the same line as Quality. So I'm always careful about what I say, because I might feel like, hey, you know what, I could tell these jokes here, and then Quasi hear that joke, even though it might not be the exact same joke, kind of like the Cat Williams and said thing, but it's like, you ain't been telling that joke before, and all of a sudden you want to tell a joke that's kind of like on the same lines as what I be talking about.
Right. And I'm sorry, go ahead.
Well, that's how it happened to me. Like, I had a joke that I was telling, very consistent, and then I heard, I was like literally at open mic watching this person do the joke, and like they did the same setup, everything that I do, they just changed one thing in the joke, and like for me it was like, okay, well, I ain't never heard you tell this joke. I've been doing comedy like 3 years. This is something I done put this joke together. I put it in the set like this. And to watch somebody do it on some, it's a joke I've been having, I just don't use it. Yeah, well, why you start using it, quote unquote, when I use it?
We about to go to commercial.
Yeah, man. Make sure I kept one table empty just in case my dad showed up. Yeah. Yeah. This is not the only highlight of my career. I got to be the guest speaker at the Special Olympics. Yeah. And how I got involved in that, I used to be in special ed when I was a kid, but I didn't know I was in special ed. I was like at recess thinking I was gonna be the next Michael Jordan. But how I found out was my little cousin Denise, she came home talking about, Clifton, guess what? I got into GT. I said, what is GT? She said, gifted and talented. I was like, Mom, I want to be in GT too. She said, Negro, you need to get in regular classes first. So I got on this program called Accelerator Reader, and where I had to read the books, take the tests, and I broke the record. They had to take me to Hard Rock Cafe. They put me in the paper, and I tested out in special ed. But I stayed involved in the special ed community because my brother, Monte, he got Down syndrome, but he only got Down syndrome when it's convenient for him. For example, he could play this game called Fortnite. He can shave. He could drive a car. But ask him to do the dishes. What's wrong with you? I got Down syndrome. And he be trying to holler at females. He said, Clifton, make me a Tinder account. I was like, no, you Down syndrome. They don't got no Down syndrome girls on Tinder. You know, you got to go with a Down syndrome girl. He said, I want a regular girl. No, I said, you're Down syndrome. He said, I'm Down syndrome, but I'm upgrade Down syndrome. Yeah. And having him in my life has taught me a lot about compassion, which I end up, I'm a customer service rep. I'm a healthcare advocate. I break down people's employee benefits. I work in the call center. And what that has taught me was issue resolution. It's taught me empathy. And it's taught me how to match people's energy. And I had got a phone call the other day. Hi, thank you so much for choosing healthcare advocates. My name is Clifton. Can I get your first and last name, please? My name is Brian Garcia. I said, hey, Brian, how you doing today? I'm pissed off. Well, how can I help you? He said, I took a COVID test 3 months ago, and now I'm getting a bill for $350. And I said, you know what, Brian? If I got a bill in the mail for $350, I'll be mad too. I'm looking at your benefits, and it does say COVID test is covered at 100%. Let me reach out to the claims department and get your claim reprocessed. All right, so I put him on hold. What have I done on this call so far? I showed empathy, compassion. I gave him a path of resolution. I matched his energy, right? And so now I'm reaching out to the claims department. Hi, my name is Lisa. You have reached the claims department. I said, hey, Lisa. I got a claim for you to reprocess. She said, you are being rude. I said, how am I being rude? She said, why are you talking like that? I said, why are you talking like that? She said, because I had a stroke. I was like, I'm sorry, ma'am, I wasn't coming from an ugly place. And that call got recorded for quality training purposes. My name is Clifton Simmons. Y'all have a great night.
Welcome back to Funny Business, the show about laughter and all about business. We're back with our panel, and we're going to continue this conversation about joke stealing. I believe Quasi was deeply entrenched in his feelings about what he didn't like about people stealing his jokes. So we're going to let him continue and finish out his thoughts.
Well, somebody stole my joke, and they did it in front of me, which I thought was like super bold and disrespectful. But I addressed them after the fact, and they told me that they had the joke and they had it written down. And I made it a point though from there on in to every time they was in the room with me, I would do the joke, like, and I would do it on a level of I don't care if you steal it. You ain't never gonna do it like me.
I said I'm sorry. You
So
gotta
did
put
the
that shit
joke
on the
bring-
folk.
Did the joke bring laughter?
Oh yeah.
Oh, so it was.
Oh
a
yeah.
good joke.
Look, I even told him that when he did the joke and I called him, I didn't call him out, but I said, let me talk to you outside. The first thing I said was, hey, that was a good set. But it was good because you closed with my joke. So that's how I felt. I feel like it's an integrity thing too, man. Like, we all artists, and to take somebody else's stuff is like super disrespectful. Yeah. Especially if it's content based on personal experiences.
I said I'm sorry. Shit, let it go.
Well,
Shit go.
now we're gonna transition into.
Let me chime in on that.
Go ahead.
So, if I see someone that's doing one of my jokes or something similar to me, I will approach them alone and talk it out with them. Another way how you can avoid a lot of that is time stamping your jokes. Like, film it, upload it to YouTube. You don't have to make it public. You could make it private. And so if someone says, nah, I've been doing that joke, you just show them, oh, I got the date right here.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Hey, but Cliff, I do that because I write, and in my notebook, I write the date at the top when I start writing. So whatever date I started writing on this joke or this set, I can go back to it and say, and every show I do, I write down the set. Like, I remember me and Ray worked together, like the first time we worked together, he told me he really liked the joke, and I had to go back to the paper because I couldn't necessarily remember it, but he was like, man, that was really good. But I write it down for that reason. I timestamp it so I can always go back to it and say, this is how long I've been doing the joke. Mm-hmm. Now, if you've been doing it longer, then I got to throw it away. But if you started doing it after me, then you need to throw it away.
So can I say this? I'm sorry. Because I'm sitting over here. Y'all too nice.
Right.
Y'all niggas,
Okay,
I feel like I'm at a deacon meeting.
Okay.
I feel like I'm at a fucking deacon meeting. This is fuck, everybody's all nice. I'm going to beat your ass up. Lala, where the camera at? You steal my shit, I'm coming to get you. Nigga, I did church announcements. Sister Mayola. This nigga, I walked in the church, this nigga stealing my shit. You seen it twice. You son of a bitch. I was mad than the son of a bitch. Nigga, I'm sorry, Cliff was like, I'm with the Lord now. Nigga, you be all right. Pour a little blood on you. Listen, man, look, I'll be honest with you. I was pissed in the motherfucker. Nigga stealing my shit. He did the church announcement word for word. And I walked in the church, I was a headline. I'm like, this nigga gonna steal in the house of the Lord.
That's a different
But I told him, I said,
level,
I'm gonna beat your ass out the church. Praise the Lord. Praise the Lord. I was gonna book that nigga though.
So is there any legal way you could time stamping it, right? Or you can just record a special and they can't do your joke then like that. But what are some other ways that you guys can safeguard your intellectual property? Because this is your money. Your jokes are your money.
When you write it so original, if it's so original and it's too hard to see, it was so that's how no one can't take away, like, they can't do your truth. Like, there's some stuff that
What if you copyright your joke?
You would probably. How would you copyright a joke?
That's what you mean.
The same way you copyright lyrics, right?
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, with the
Yeah.
I
So
mean,
if you write the joke out and then you copyright the joke, you like, man, this is a joke, man, and you copyright it, then you go perform that joke, then somebody says that joke,
Here's another example. Jamie Foxx,
doing it legal way.
Yeah.
Bill Bellamy had a joke about booty call, and they came out with a movie called Booty Call. He didn't get paid from Booty Call
because he didn't
You know what I'm saying?
trademark that word or that idea. He didn't like the idea of the
Ideas
concept
and
of the
premises.
Wasn't he in
though,
Booty
it's
Call?
hard.
And that word
No,
wasn't
that was Jamie
necessarily
Foxx,
his,
remember?
but he
And,
probably had a
Tom
joke about
Davis.
it.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
See, a lot of times, y'all. I mean, it's hard to really. Okay, like back in the day, to really claim a joke or like you call timestamp, is the first one takes it to TV.
That's
You
right.
take it to TV. That's pretty much your joke, and that's like known in the comedy community. There's no rules, man. There's no rules in this.
Yeah.
So a lot of it is integrity. It's a lot of it. It's my man Ray.
Say, I'll beat your ass. I'm telling you now.
There's a lot, hey,
Fuck that.
you get checked or
I'll fight a nigga.
But my thing is, if it's copywritten, the legal way, just like we learned this in trademarks, trademarking. There's ways to do that. I mean, it's kind of crazy, but
writers, man, you get paid writing. That's where you win.
That's money.
You know, good to be y'all, but them writers behind the scenes, you know, that's if nobody's writing it, it's nothing getting made. No movies, no plays, or nothing like that. So you gotta protect yourself. Now, like what Quasi said about personal experience. Now that's how you can really, you know, but think about it, man. What kind of concept that you can come up, or premise that you can come up that's really original that might have never been. You know what I'm saying? So
that's hard within itself, you know, because pretty much ain't nothing new under the sun. It's just your maybe perspective or opinion on something.
And y'all could disagree, but I do believe that I do believe a person can subconsciously listen to your joke and forgot they heard it and think that they came up with that joke.
Look, I agree with you to
like
some
you could say
extent,
something,
but I think you're always conscious of it. Like when I listened to Corey Holcomb talk about the cat stuff on his podcast recently, he admitted to stealing somebody's joke, and how he explained it was he said he was young in the game, he was on stage, he wasn't doing well, and he went to someone else's joke because he knew that joke worked. Even if you personalize, like, you know, Ray do characters based on personal experiences, but if that's comedic genius, I should be able to repeat it and still make Alvin laugh because it's just that funny. Even if it's not like his acts were word for word, I might change up one or two things in the thing to maybe make it fit me. But you know, man, if Alvin got a killer joke about, you know, going on vacation and stuff like that, but it's good enough to where even though it's personal experience, you could tell the joke, and if you tell it right, people gonna laugh.
Yeah. So wait a minute. What's the difference between being funny and being comedic funny?
Well, so I feel like I used to feel like that I was funny, and like Cliff was a comedian, and you know people like no you, and I'm like because Cliff and Debo, I'll use them to as an example. You know, like they have set up, you know, punchline or whatever, or just the way they deliver their jokes, and then me, you know, I get up there and I could riff, or I've just learned in the past couple of years how to actually put jokes together. So it's kind of like the episode of The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air when D.L. Hughley was on there. Yeah, and Will got up there, he made people laugh, but then the second time around he bombed. So you know, it's like there's people who get back. They get up there, and yeah, you might see them one time, they might not do well. You know what I'm saying? But then they killing everywhere else, you know, because of the audience or whatever the case may be, because they know how to construct these jokes, these punchlines, deliver cadences and stuff. Like I'm just now learning so much about comedy. Yeah. I didn't know there was any type of cadence in comedy. I just thought you were saying stuff. But when you get in front of these audiences and like going back to going out of town and you thinking what been working works, and then you start telling some jokes and thinking that they're going to be funny because other people laughed at them. People looking at you like, who's the next guy? Because this was not funny. So it's like I got to work on these jokes. I got to work on this delivery. I got to work on the sequence of them. I got to work on this set. And I be impressed with my guys when they go up there and they kill it. I'm like, damn, man, Quasi killed it. Debo killed it. Cliff killed that. I mean, I seen you a while back, but you always do good. Ray killed it. I don't care how many times I hear these jokes. We be in certain places and I be like, man, they like, because they be working on their shit.
So how important is being a good writer? How important is being a good writer and being a good comic? How how much does writing play into building up being a very good comic? Because you see past comics like Richard Pryor, you see Paul Mooney, you see Flip Wilson, you see all these old school comics. They were writing, and these are the comics. Dave Chappelle, he writes. So a lot of these comics, Eddie Murphy, a lot of their material is still here right now because they wrote things out. And so, how important do y'all think being a good writer, and you said sentence structure and structuring up the jokes, how important it is to be a good writer to tell a story as you're telling your joke?
It's not that important at all.
It's not?
Nah, because you can always pay somebody to write for you. Okay. As long as you can deliver and perform
But somebody's right.
and have improv.
Well, look, I feel like that go back to the difference. Hold up, AP. I think that go back to the difference of what you said about being comedically funny and just being funny. Because it's a difference between being silly and goofy and being funny and being comedically funny.
What's the difference between being
like someone is an entertainer and they're on stage. Their job is to entertain you, to make you laugh. However they do that.
Like
is up to
I
them.
can,
But when you're
okay. Let me give you an
comedic
example. Let me give you an example.
Somebody give me an example of somebody being silly and goofy.
I can sell a bet. There's a lot of great comedians in the city that a lot of people that don't even know. They're like, I got this guy. He's my brother, Blair Thompson. He's hilarious. He's probably one of the best in the city, but he don't hustle. He don't grind. Blair is damn near top 5 in the city.
Okay,
all day.
Say that sound better.
He damn near.
Yeah.
He could be number 1 in the city.
Shit, you a lie.
You don't fuck with Blair?
No, I'm not saying that, but it's
Blair,
a competitive sport. You're not going to sit in the room with a comic and say another comic is better than him.
Blair go harder than you.
Like, okay,
Yes.
check my
Go
numbers.
harder than you.
Check my numbers.
But
That's all I gotta say.
Blair doesn't.
comedically right.
Blair doesn't hustle.
Comedy.
Blair doesn't hustle and grind, and that's why Blair is in the position that he's in.
Okay.
So let me answer the
And-
question. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was straight up. I was straight. He don't market. He's a talent. He's a talented writer, but you don't know who he is.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
He ain't on the scene like us.
He's not on the scene.
He does shows, but he's just not.
Just because.
And I don't know the brother, but here's my thing. I don't know any comic. I don't know any basketball player. I don't know any boxer that's gonna sit in the room with a person that does what they do and say that somebody else is better than them. That's just not how I'm wired.
Are you saying that?
So
Are you
Michael
saying
Jordan
Blair's
walked
better
in
than
right now. If Michael Jordan walked in here and said, "Hey man,
I'm not a basketball player, but any other comic walked in this room and say they better than me, I'm gonna be like, let's hit the stage. That's how confident I am about my shit.
I got an answer.
There's several.
But also, contrary to what you just said, no disrespect to that's how you feel.
Yeah.
I write every fucking day.
And
comedy is writing every day. If you're not writing every day, what the fuck are you doing? I can be at a stoplight and I'm gonna pull over and write. Like a comic told me, matter of fact, J. Anthony Brown told me, he said, if you're not writing every day, what are you doing? Like I'm a comedian. I'm married to this shit. You know what I'm saying? So everybody's different. Nothing against anybody else. But when somebody say somebody's funnier than you or whatever, that's cool. I get it. Because it's perspective. Some people say Kevin Hart is funnier than Dave Chappelle. Because that's what they like though. they like that style. And I'm not mad at that. You know what I'm saying? I think Sinbad is one of the greatest comics of all time.
That man don't get his flowers.
But he doesn't have the flowers that everybody else have.
Yeah, well, none of the old guys do except Eddie and Richard Pryor.
Well,
because Damon Wayans is a beast, but nobody talks about Damon Wayans.
And he's one of the greatest ever. Yeah. But my thing is, when somebody says something, and I'm from San Antonio, born and raised Santa Rosa Hospital. When somebody says somebody in this city better, I'm like
Brady Green over here.
Okay.
We had insurance. At
the end of the day, it's also about selling tickets. At the end of the day, we got this. Another cat. I think for me, he's number 1.
Thank you,
Raul Sanchez.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say me.
I'm gonna say. I've said this before. I've said you're funnier than me. No one in the city.
So hold on.
I'm not that humble.
When you saying somebody's funnier than you, it's not you saying that they're better. They're better than you. It's just
this is what I'm saying.
What are you saying?
There's a lot of comics in the city funnier than me, but no comic in the city will ever outwork me. I work so hard that people think that I'm the number 1 in the city.
So let me get my perspective on the writing, right? Because I'm not a writer. Again, comedy is mental for me, so I try to when I get on that stage, like I don't know if nobody knows this, but that's why I don't talk that much before performances because I try to keep my mind clear. But one of the jokes that I close with now was a joke that I did randomly years ago, right? So I used to do all these jokes, and Cliff would tell you I would never repeat the same joke over and over. But at the time, I didn't know nothing about comedy. So, and they would be like, and D would be like, "Oh man, you got all these jokes, man. You should put a set together, right?" So I'm listening to these old jokes, and I'm like, "How can I make this joke better?" So if you hear the joke when I first did it, it was funny then, but it's funnier now because, and this is where the writing part comes in. You know, I write, but writing helps the originality. You know what I'm saying? When you write, then that means you're not really thinking about what Quasi said, what Cliff said, what anybody else said. See, comedic, funny, and just going up there and saying stuff, you might start getting everything, you know. So you might say something somebody said before and just kind of twist it around. But if you writing and you like, okay, you thinking about what you're gonna say, so you're not really writing a joke that Kevin Hart said. You thinking about a particular thing, and so with some of the jokes that I have now, I'll work them in my head. You know, I'll use my phone in the notes and put like the premise of what it is that I'm thinking about. You know, and then I'll kind of like work it in my head and try to remember it, because a lot of times I'll riff something just out the blue, and it's funny in that moment because of the energy that I was given. Then I'll try to do it again, because Cliff was always like, man, you got this one joke I love, do that joke.
He wouldn't remember it.
And I could never do it like I did it the first time. But if I start working on it, you know, just my style of writing, I kill a room with that joke.
So you freestyle your comedy like you used to do your raps?
The majority of the time,
Okay,
yeah.
So
that's why my set's never the same.
I want to say this.
Go ahead, because I have a question
Okay.
for Mr. Bradford. Go ahead.
No, we can go to that. Go.
Mr. Bradford, hearing all the comments and stuff, right? And you know, you've been behind the scenes, you've been on stage and been hosting, and you've done a lot of things. In your experience, 30 years, right? How do you feel about the things that you've heard as far as like writing versus actually just going out there doing it? What's the benefit of writing out here? What's the best ways that the artists can get out here and really start making their money?
Well, if you notice, man, first of all, this game is, you know, they call it stand-up. Who goes out there on the stage? You're out there by yourself. Right. Okay, so that's a lot of this in this business is I. Okay? A lot of y'all, I mean, this has been going for a long time. There's nobody really teaching unless you get with one of the big cats that want to bring you in, and y'all mentioned about clicks. You know what I'm saying? So there's, like I said, there's really no teaching where you can really go and be taught comedy, taught how to write, taught how to deliver. I mean, you know, there's a lot to it. You know, experience and getting on stage, you can work. That's trial and error, man. That's why it takes a long time. But there's no really teaching, man. And real quick, I want to say this on like the comedy scene in San Antonio. And I understand, and I was thinking more or less, Ray, you talking more of the mainstream scene where they open mics. Yeah. Well, yeah, okay, I can understand that. But two is, if you think about what the greatest thing we've seen in comedy? Everybody's fighting that bad fella by itself. But what happened when the Kings of Comedy came together? When they finally agreed to go together as a unit and they started filming stuff together, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And that stuff exploded. Because that's just like you in corporate, man. If you go into a meeting, the white folks in corporate, they're going to have 10 folks in the meeting. Mm-hmm. You go in there by yourself, they're going to shoot you down. Right. You ain't got no, but if you go in there with, bring another partner, you got 2 or 3 of y'all go in there. Now, if something come at you can't do, maybe Cliff can take it. Exactly. Or maybe Alvin. We got to come together, man, even in this comedy world. Even though as an individual, you got to stand out there and play. But like in tennis, you know, you're out there by yourself. Right. But to advance in this game, man, it's just like, you know, hey, he been there beating. I ain't heard of you, man. But I can tell by the way you talk that you got some substance. You know, I can tell. But you know, we fight the battle and then we hope we can sneak in. You know, the guys over on the mainstream, like the Kevin Harts, man, and them guys that they let get in. That's just how it is. But if we come together, man, and even in San Antonio, I see all you brothers. But I ain't, well, I'm going to stop and take that back. These dudes got the loud pack. At least they got that going. But if you guys would come together, man, all y'all talented. And bring, and now since you got video, you don't have to fight. There's a different fight.
And now y'all see that, so y'all can come together, improv, and put stuff on to win. But this individual fight, man, is that's what I see, and just whoever get lucky and somebody pull you in, you can win, and everyone else is just fighting, and then they put us,
Can I say something?
That's how they do it.
Yeah, go ahead.
I've always said we don't have a comedy club. We have comedy clubs here, but the comedy clubs that you hear about that are legendary in the comedy world, like Tommy T's and
Fat Tuesdays.
Chocolate Sunday. Well, they have Chocolate Sundays at
Comedy Store.
Yeah.
Comedy Store.
Factory.
Where so this is what I'm trying to say, right? People say they like comedy, but they like certain comedians, right? So they only come to shows if it's Mike Epps or whoever the case may be, right? But we don't have that spot where you don't know who's going to be in there that night. You know what I'm saying? It could be Mike Epps, it could be Cat Williams, it could be whoever the case may be. You know what I'm saying? Probably because San Antonio. But Texas doesn't have that in general. You're not going to go to Houston to the Improv and some, superstar just walk up in there and grab the mic and start doing comedy, because they got a lot of, they kind of like dealing with the same thing that we dealing with. But what I'm saying is that here, people just want to do shows. They just want to say, I'm doing shows. You have people doing open mic tours and everything else. They just doing shows. They not caring about actually being funny and trying to excel in this game and get on shows. I don't want to just be doing shows. I don't want to say, I got a calendar with 50 shows in a month. Nah. I want to be funny. I want people to want to come see me. I want whatever show I'm doing, I want people to be at that show. Not just to say, I got a show here, and nobody's there. But 2 or 3 other comedians. Mm-hmm. Like, I want people to want to come see me. So Upstage is not even that big, but it should be filled with people because there's comedy there. And you don't know who might be the next big star. It could be Cliff, it could be Ray, it could be Quaz, it could be Debo. Israel almost out the door. Sorry to say that, but so many people that has been big or small in whatever retrospect. You know what I'm saying? And we just like, I want to be better than him. Don't worry about being better than me.
Yeah.
Because everybody don't like my style of comedy. You know what I'm saying? Don't worry about being better than Cliff because everybody don't like his style of comedy.
Right.
Just do you. And you might be the one that we want to lift up and say, man, hey, he the one got what it takes. And we, you know what I'm saying? Because you think about all the older comedians that kind of like what he's saying, that came up together, they came up together. So they have these stories of doing shows and going these open mics with this person, this person, and this person, and this person. So they consider themselves, I'm in a class with this person, this person, this person. Well, we all in the class together. You know what I'm saying? Well, Ray's a little bit older than us, and I don't know how long he's been doing comedy, but he might be in a class with somebody else, maybe Quinn or Walter, somebody. You know what I'm saying?
So do y'all think that's hurting the market? That's hurting the economy of comedy here by people not coming together? Because, like to really get to that level, Kevin Hart has very good management. Kevin Hart got his stuff together, even though people may not consider him the funniest. He has his business down together to where he's making a lot of money. He's in a position to put his people on, even though they may not be funny. And just Cat Williams was just talking about in the interview with Shannon Sharp when he was saying Joe Rogan is pushing the same 6 comics that's not even funny. But if you look at those 6 comics that Joe Rogan is pushing, they each got 2 shows each. They all making millions of dollars, millions of views on these shows. They not even doing stand-up shows. All they doing is just sitting on the computer, podcasting and thinking that they're funny, and they're making money. But Joe Rogan put them in a position. But my thing is this: now, the internet. How do y'all feel like the internet has it hurt comedy to the point to where now you got all these comics thinking that they're funny? Everybody's trying to do comedy now because of COVID. They sitting around practicing jokes in the mirror, and then now all of a sudden they have a YouTube channel. They was funny on YouTube, but then when they get on stage, they bomb. Why do y'all think that the internet has helped or hurt comedy?
Look, I think it's done both, man. I think it's kind of like how you will hear people, especially in like the Cat interview, you'll hear people talk about gatekeepers, and I think it's kind of taking the gatekeepers out of the mix because you can talk directly to your people, and you can create your own fan base, and you can create your own content. But it's also watered it down because just what you said, it's a bunch of people who do things on like a live stream that they feel like that's comedy. And they feel like it's funny because you got all these live viewers and the numbers are telling you that, hey, we're doing good because we got 5,000 people, 10,000 people. But just like you said, when you don't understand the art form or grasp it because you've never been on stage, when you get on stage, what's the expectation? What are people coming to see? Are they coming to see you do the same thing you just did on the live, or are they coming to see jokes? And if you don't know how to tell jokes, then they're going to be disappointed because you won't have the luxury of just holding your phone up when you're on stage. You got to talk directly to the people.
And see, my thing is, was it Country Wayne?
Yeah, Country Wayne.
Love that dude.
Yeah.
Like, whether you like him or not, what he said was, forget the gatekeepers. I'm going to create my own lane. When I first started doing comedy, most people know this, I was 25 years preaching. Then when I left the church, then I started doing comedy. But it's the same thing. The way I prepared my sermons for 25 years, so I had 25 years of already public speaking, learning how to read the room and all this stuff is the same thing I do on stage. The difference was when I started doing comedy, I jumped ahead of some people. And so some people in the city was like, well, who's this new guy filling up these rooms? Who's these new guys selling out this room and that room, going to Dallas, going to Tennessee? So I was like, damn, they hating on me. But I had to learn, you know what, kick open the doors. Because sometimes, like with the internet guys, what they did was the DC Young Fly, they were like, forget what y'all think, we're going to do it differently. Mm-hmm. And in my opinion, there's no stopping you. If you're a comic and if you're serious, find the lane and roll in it. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Because if you don't, first of all, let me say this. Quit trying to make the audience feel you. Your audience will find you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because I say a lot of, I say that, you know, and one of the greatest compliments I've ever heard was, I am the Corey Holcomb of church people. Okay. Because I say shit that's gonna hurt church people's feelings. Like I say shit, fuck that. Like I'm gonna say some shit, but I say it in jest, but also I know the Bible a whole lot better than some people. So my thing is, people that come to my shows, they're not real churchy. They know what I bring. And if you come to my show, if you're real churchy, that's because you came to the wrong show. But I'm not going to change me up. So if I go to another city, people already know, oh, that's that crazy dude from TikTok or Facebook or whatever. But when you're true to yourself, you don't even worry about people stealing your shit because they're not going to be me. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? They're not going to be me. So I love the internet guys myself, personally.
Amen.
I was going to say that I don't think that a lot of them even intend to be comedians. I think they come out just trying to be funny, right? Mm-hmm. And then somebody say, hey, DC, you know you could make money doing comedy, right? Yeah. Desi, like all these dudes that end up being on stage, like somebody tells them, hey, you know you could, because it takes a while to make money for your videos. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? You can have millions of views and you might not make no money, but if somebody say, hey, you could do a tour,
eventually gonna figure it out.
And then so they go and they start figuring out and stuff like that. So they end up becoming comedians because, you know, DC was just like clowning on people. Yeah. And you can't do that on the stage. You know what I'm saying? You can't just get on stage and be like, bring your ass here, boy. You know what I'm saying? Like it'll get old after a while. People like, okay, it was cool the first couple of times. We want to see something else. So they end up having to work on their craft because when I opened up a Tim Bay and he was like, I only been doing comedy for 8 months. And I mean, he packed it out. 2 shows, packed it out because they just knew his personality. So he had a following. But he kind of, you know how you wouldn't change characters because people knew him from wearing the wigs. He started off as his male self, and then he did like 10 or 15 minutes like that, and then went put on the wig and came back and did as Bay. So he did 15 minutes as Tim, and then he came back and did 15, 20 minutes as Bay. And you know, everybody really came to see
and
Bay.
He's from the internet?
Yeah, he's from the internet. So
what about somebody like Drewski? Because he's funny on the internet. Like I watch all his
I haven't seen his stand up, but I've seen videos of him. I haven't seen him.
Okay, so
I haven't seen him actually doing stand up, but I know he tours.
So there's video comedians and then there's live comedians.
No, but like you can start doing comedy after doing a couple of shows. You're gonna eventually you're gonna either fold or you're gonna eventually pick it up after a while.
Well, if you create a persona though, like what you're talking about with Timbe, and Ray probably can kind of like back me a little bit because he do different personas. He don't always do them at every show, but he have personas he can pull out and do these characters on stage. But when you create that, you got to understand your branding too. So if that's what you're creating on the video that people are watching on YouTube or they watching you go live on Instagram or whatever it is, when they come into shows, that's what they want to see. Like I like Kerwin Claiborne, and I like when he's regular, but I'm cool with when he puts the wig on. But I know when he comes to a show, I know for a fact, just what Alvin was talking about, people want to see him with the wig on. They want to see that version of him because that's what you've grown to love as far as his branding. So, and then Cliff made a good point. You have to figure it out of how to balance it. Well, okay, I'm going to tell some jokes, but I'm also going to give you this because I know people want to see it. When Debo hosted for Donnell Rollins, I felt like he did a good job of doing I'm Rich Bitch because he knew people want to hear that. And he did it early in his set, and he got it out the way, and then he went on and kept telling jokes. But he know people want to hear that because that's one of his biggest, things that people know him, even though he's a very funny comic to me, seasoned vet, he's very funny. But you know him from that I'm Rich Bitch off Dave Chappelle. So at some point, you're expecting that in the show. And when you don't get it, you might be disappointed, like, man, I came out to hear him, do this or do that.
Yeah. Ask you, Larry. So how important is it to have range? And the reason why I'm saying this is because we brought the segue into Cat Williams. This is the last segment. And the reason why I brought up Cat Williams is because that interview is probably at 45 million right now. Second biggest watched interview of all time. So shout out to him and Shannon Sharp. First, just really quickly, I want to get y'all thoughts on that. But what I want to say about Cat Williams is that what I've learned is that he's a man of large range, right? He not only does stand up, he can act. The guy's won an Emmy. Come to find out, he's very smart. Read 3,000 books a day or whatever.
Not a day.
Cat in the Hat is only 5 pages. I kind of give him 2,500 books, but you learn a lot. You learn a lot about Cat Williams, but one of the biggest things that I learned online was that how generous he was. A lot of comics talked about they were broke, and they was performing, they didn't have no money. Then all of a sudden somebody just come put some money in their hand, and they look up in there and it's $1,000. Boosie even talked about how
they gave $15,000.
Yeah, throwing $15,000 in the car. So we heard Cat Williams. Cat Williams aired everybody out. You know what I'm saying? We already know that, but not enough is talked about his generosity and also his impact on comedy, and also just the way that now, now that he's put everything out there, how do y'all see comedy now in the mainstream? So first, let's just talk about just Cat Williams, the interview.
Well, first, I want to hear Bradford's story about the money. Because we've been kind of like skipping over him.
No, it's good, man. This is about y'all comedy.
Yeah. Tell us the money story.
First of all, give y'all thoughts about the interview. What did y'all think overall about the interview? And just give us something that really just stuck out to you.
I thought it was a great interview. I thought it was funny. I thought it was insightful, and I feel like he spoke his truth. But I think the most important thing is that it showed you that everybody is not friends, right? Mm-hmm. Everybody think that everybody's supposed to be friends, but you're not gonna be. It's kind of going back to what Ray said. It's gonna be competition. So people might be like, "Oh, let's come together and unify." But guess what? When Michael Jordan was on the court, yeah, he might have been friends with Charles Barkley, playing golf with him off the court, but on that court, he was dogging him.
Exactly.
It's show business, not show friends. Like I don't take things personal. I do shows with people that I don't even fuck with. I can break bread and do business with you. I can book you and not really fuck with you. You know what I'm saying?
But overall, how did you? What was your biggest takeaway from the Cat Williams interview?
I like that he spoke his truth, and me personally, like if you have a problem with me, pull me aside and let me know. But I like that he did expose the industry though. That was pretty cool.
Yeah,
Because I'm seeing Mark Curry get his flowers now.
Yeah.
He can now sell out any comedy club now.
Oh yeah, I saw him on Willie D. He was.
Man, look, I kind of mind. I'm similar to everybody. I thought he spoke his truth, and a big part of what people leaving out is he said in the interview, if you wanted me to speak nicer of you, maybe you should have been nicer to me. Yeah. So I think he's speaking on his perspective of what he's dealt with. But the generosity part, I feel like was big because I feel like we all can speak on the fact that you might be on a show where you just kind of like there to support, you know, and then they say, well, why you here, Cliff? Can you give me 5 minutes? And it's a packed house. And you go up there and do 5 minutes and go hard, but you ain't getting paid. You know, and it's times where you ask to do things in the game for, like, you know, how Ray was talking about earlier, for branding purposes, or, you know, we trying to allow you to use our platform, and that's all good, but we still humans and we got bills. So you walking away from a killer performance, people want to take pictures with you, all this stuff, but you ain't getting paid, you know. And I say that to say, man, look, I had a show booked one time with Vance. And the show, we didn't end up going out of town, and he still gave me some money. He's like, what's your cash app? I was like, bro, you don't have to do that. He was like, nah. I got you, you know, because I appreciate you working with me. And in those moments, man, you appreciate those type of people because they few and far between in the entertainment industry, because most people are, kind of like he said it, man, most people are about I. And if they can find a way to not pay you, sometimes that's exactly what they're going to do. So they're going to try to finesse you. And sometimes guest spots are a blessing because you use someone else's platform to showcase your talent. But it's an awesome feeling to get paid for what you do, you know, and to have people in the game that have the means to do it, you know, but for whatever reason, they don't want to do it. And you walking away, everybody else getting paid. You know, you on a sold out show, everybody else getting paid. You got to just walk away with your head high. Like, I know I did good, but I got to go back and fight these bills tomorrow. It's a great feeling. So, look, I think he exposed a lot that people need to address as far as writing new material, too. Some comics have the same set for 10 years. And, yeah, it's funny, right? But, look, the jokes are funny because that's what real good comedy is. Comedic genius is timeless. You could tell the same joke over and over, but one thing he spoke on is that when people are paying to see you, they don't want to hear you telling them same jokes you was telling last year or the year before that or the year before that or the year, just because they're still good and you can still get off with them and you can still make people laugh. Man, I want to hear something else. I don't want to hear the same set that I've been hearing for 5-6 years.
How many times have y'all seen Cat Williams perform? I saw him twice.
In person?
Yeah, in person.
I haven't.
I just saw him like a couple of years ago. He was here.
I honestly didn't start going to live comedy shows until I started doing comedy.
He was here last year. He was here last year. Mother wanted to go.
Okay, all right, go ahead. You want to give your point?
Most comedians I know, comedians, not just niggas that get on this mic, like real comedians. Most comedians I know are brilliant, and Cat Williams was fucking brilliant through the whole thing, because first of all, not only did he speak his truth, he knew that when I do this, y'all gonna pop back, and I'm gonna sell more tickets. Yeah. God damn, that's marketing. Right. Like, that's dope as hell. But most of the things he was saying was people who have said some shit about him. Mm-hmm. So sometimes as a comic, we men or women, you know what I'm saying? Because there's some brilliant ass women, right? And sometimes you get tired. You like, damn, y'all be trying to hate on me, like, you ever have a motherfucker introduce you and they introduce you in the wrong way? Right. You're like, really, nigga? Like, okay. Yeah. So, you know what I'm saying? And I mean, you know what I'm saying? So, but again, it's like, to me, I liked it because he exposed a lot of stuff that a lot of us already know. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? I don't think any comedian was shocked at what he said. Mm-mm. It was the audience, because what people don't understand, we make people laugh, but it's a dark business. Yeah, it is. People are real dark.
Agree.
Club promoters are shiesty. Comedians are shiesty. No offense. Managers are shiesty. That's why I started doing contracts, because I'm like, nah, bro, you have to pay me. Like, we went to Clarksville, Tennessee, church, and the pastor like, oh, we gonna give you an offering, bitch. You gonna get my money? I'm gonna beat your motherfucking ass, pastor, in the name of Jesus. Like, ass by Bobby's like, Ray, you going too far, nigga. This nigga gonna get my money. I'm gonna fuck this nigga up. I used to sell drugs. Anyway, praise the Lord, amen. But my thing is, real talk, I loved it because he told his truth. I loved it because he didn't go on no white motherfucking show and did it. Mm-hmm. He went to us. Right. You know what I'm saying? He went to Unc and
he didn't go to Vlad.
That motherfucker don't get me started on stolen identity people. Don't talk. I don't want to talk about them. Them stolen identity people.
Something he said that was very important that people I haven't heard people talk about. He said the only people he take on the road with him is people he feel like is funnier than him, and that's a great compliment. You know what I'm saying? For those people, because then if you never heard of those people, that make you want to go back and look at those American Hustle and all that, and the ones that people have featured on, and like, man, who is Red Grant and Lunel and Melody Camacho and so you know these people,
Lunel,
and these people,
Mark Cooper.
yeah, and these people are funny. And that's why I say people ain't really fans of comedy. They're fans of certain comedians. Because if you was fans of comedy, then you would know. You might not know who everybody is, but you know, I be online clicking on videos all the time. You know what I'm saying? I'll go to Chocolate Sundays and I'm like, you know, who are these people? You know what I'm saying? Listening to them. K-Dub is a
Hilarious.
He's a popular comedian in comedy. You know, he might not have reached the level of a Kevin Hart or anything else like that. But even Kev on stage, right? My wife put me on the Kev on stage. I would see his videos, and we went to go see him in, like, I think 2018 in Austin. I just went to go see him last year in Austin in July. He's like Sinbad. He don't even curse. He's easily one of the funniest people doing comedy right now. I mean, that whole show, To Hear More was hilarious, but Kev was like a rock star. You know, Kev on stage, I mean, and he performed so well, you didn't realize that he didn't curse. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, you don't realize, like, if you go back and listen to Sinbad, you don't realize he don't curse because
it's just so funny.
Yeah, it's funny. You know what I'm saying? Because some people are funny because they curse.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But it was like, it wasn't like a dead joke in his set, and that was something that I struggled with because I was like, when I would bomb, I used to be down on myself. And then I watched Eddie Murphy had interviewed him and Jerry Seinfeld interviewed each other,
riding in cars with comedians,
and they was talking about bombing as professional comedians, you know, as big. And then Kevin Tahir had talked about that bombing, and I was like, damn, I didn't think that they bombed because they had a huge fan base. But even Dave Chappelle was like, you know, I didn't, I didn't bomb, you know.
All right, so before we wrap it up, we want you, Mr. Bradford, to share your experience. You say you rode with Cat from San Antonio. Want to go into that story and just talk about Cat Williams, Joe?
Yeah, at one time I told you I started as a promoter.
Okay.
So we brought Cat. Cat had his joke, the Cat in the Hat. He was on the car, Cat in the Hat. So I brought.
So that's really his joke.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's his joke.
So Said really stole that joke.
He stole the premise of the joke.
Okay, he stole the
well, to me, he stole the whole setup because that's how I was with me. Like you
building
the joke up and then you change one thing in there. That's still his joke.
Let him finish this one because he gotta.
I mean, it showed where Cat did it on BET on Comic View, and then Said did it on the Kings of Comedy.
So he stole it.
Well, it is what it is.
Okay.
You saw, yeah. So you know, hey, I like Cat. And I like Said. Said was one of the first guys I was out there with too. Said and his crew. But what I want to say is I do want to put this on document, on tape, on file. That okay. When they talked about when Cat talked, they talk about Cat fights. Cat fight. He ain't never fought me. I'm a very good negotiator. But he will do that. Now, that's one thing. Another thing when they're talking about now him reading the books and how intelligent he is. Okay, like I said, I rode from San Antonio to Midland, Odessa. That's every bit of 5 hours, not 4:59. Every bit of 5. He talked the whole way, and I consider myself knowing people with talent that got that it factor. That's my thing, man. I know if you got that it factor, that's it. And I knew then. Now, I ain't know nothing about how many books he read or nothing like that. I ain't know nothing about it. I knew that boy was brilliant. Matter of fact, I told you I used to host a little bit, right? So we was going down there once again with just me and Cat. So I'm a host, and then Cat take the rest of the show. He wrote me a joke so I can get on stage. He saw a farmer in the pasture with cows. And I said, look at that farmer over there with the cows, man. I was just, we was driving, that's all you see going to Midland. That's his pastures. And he said he was talking, and the farmer was like he was talking to the cows. That brother wrote a joke instantly. He said, "Hey, a cow pimp," and he talking to his hoe. You see that one that said moo? He said, "Bitch, don't sass me. Just that quick." He said, "I'll make you." He said something like, "You know, I'm not a comic, but he said, you know, I'll make you start making buttermilk or something." You know? And then say, "Now you laughed at me. Imagine him and his voice and his. I mean, just that quick. We driving 75 miles an hour going by." We see that, and then he wrote me a joke, and he said, "You see somebody in the club with a cowboy hat, call him an urban cowboy." He said, "We seen your horse outside with gold on the horseshoes. He had armor all on the nose, the mane braided. You're an urban pimp, urban cowboy, you know." So he was just brilliant, just that quick, man. And so the whole conversation, boom, we talked. So then I knew. Like I said, now I found out through this interview how many books he read. Okay, what I read is the brother's brilliant, and that visionary, that see, you know, beyond, you know. So catch something else, man. And then I want to talk about the generosity part. Okay, and I didn't know this. You know, I watched the internet a lot, but I didn't know that you know people was telling about the bag. Okay, so. I want to, you know, I already thank Cat personally. Yeah, you know, because every time a show come around, I just go and we talk. One time I went to the show, and he said, "Hey, man, make sure you come back." You know, when he was in the bus this time, he was on the bus. Come back to my bus. I said, "Okay, cool, Cat." You know, I never sweated him, man. We was cool. Cat came, man, and when he first came, he stayed with me in Texas. He didn't go home. I didn't know he didn't go home. I didn't know that. I didn't know, you know, and God's my witness. Cat asked me, you know, we was talking. He said, "Man, I'd love you to come back and manage me." I said, "Cat, I could probably handle your on-stage work. You know, good in the movies or whatever." This is what he in the movie. He was still Cat in the Hat. I said, "What I probably couldn't handle, man, is off stage." Because he's a real deal. He's a real deal. I mean, like he said, he lived in, I said, "Cat," because I'm going to tell you right now, man, ever since I was born, I lived in a gated community. And I just told him straight up, I probably couldn't handle you off stage, man. I just wasn't wired that way, man. So, you know, I had the mind for it. So Cat went back, the same thing with Brutman. I said, "Man, I'm going out to California." I really didn't want to go, you know, so I stayed around with the fam. So, but I went to the bus. We got to talking and jib it up. So everybody was there. I was just the last one hanging around, you know, because we just cool. That nigga gave me a bag like James Avery type bag with the paper out. And I grabbed the bag. And I said, "Okay, Cat, cool, man." We dapped up. I went. I never looked in the bag. Got back in the car, just tossed it over there. Got home, drove, and I'm just sitting in my car. I said, "Let me just see what's in this bag." Opened it, pulled out the little paper, and I really didn't see nothing because it was kind of dark in the car. I just looked in. There it was.
Money?
The bag, yeah. Cash. So I did receive a bag, and I'm telling you, and so those stories, I don't know how, you know, everybody got different amounts, I'm sure. But, and that's me, and I'm not a comic. I just promoted, but I took care of him. And a lot of people did too, man. I think, you know.
Shout out to Cat Williams for that, man.
Yeah, he's straight up there. So I ain't gonna tell nobody how much.
Right.
But drinks on you. That's what you're saying. We leave here.
Boosie 15,000. Did you see Dion Cole's post about that?
I saw that too.
And
I saw
and that was like a month.
What'd they say?
So
Dion, they all love Cat. They all say Cat looked out for him.
Yeah, well, they was on tour too, Linnell and them.
A month before Cat had did that interview, Dion Cole just happened to have a post about Cat Williams, and he was like, it was on Instagram. He said, you know, the next time somebody interviews Cat or talks to him, just ask him how much money he's giving away.
Yeah, I saw that.
He said it has to be, you know, close to millions, right? So then he tells this story about how, you know, a woman randomly came and gave him some money, and he found out it was Cat. But in the comments, people were saying, you know, like so many people, he gave me this much money. He gave me $30,000. He gave me $10,000. He gave me this money. He helped me out with this. He helped me out with this, and that's what made me make the post because I'm like, it's easy for somebody to say somebody's crazy. Oh, Walter's crazy. Quad is crazy. Can't Get Right is crazy. Cliff is crazy, but we don't know the impact that different people have had to people's lives. Because that's what they're gonna do. The media is gonna show all the craziness. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna talk, and it's easy for those people that he talked about to pile up on him and to say, "Oh yeah, Cat crazy," because they know about all those shenanigans that the media has shown us. But Cat Williams ain't never gave nobody no money. Ain't got on Instagram and took a picture. It was like, I just gave so and so some money.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Shout out to Cat
so you
Williams,
don't know that
man.
he even did that.
I know, though. It messed me up.
So like, before we wrap it up, we got a few more moments left. Can everybody just give our audience out here a few words of advice for anybody that's thinking about getting into comedy?
Don't.
Any up and coming comics. What advice you can give them? Any parting words y'all can give them that can help them on their journey in their career? Go ahead, Quad. You want to go first?
Right. Stay consistent. Trust your process, man. That because at the end of the day, he alluded to it. When you try to cheat the process, it's not gonna pay off in the end. So trust your process. Stay consistent. Stay committed.
Right, get on stage.
Right, get on stage.
And create your own lanes.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, man, I like
whether
that.
you're doing skits, whether you're hosting, whether you gotta leave your city. Because I sold my house and moved to Dallas for my dream. That only everybody know. I came back was because my dad got sick.
Okay.
But you have to. Sometimes your own city's not gonna support you, but you go to another city and they gonna think you're a star. You know what I'm saying? I'm sorry. Did I say something wrong?
No.
Like,
My
No,
turn.
Okay.
Not at all.
You said I'm like, oh shit.
Nah.
I got scared. You about to jump on me? I can't fight. I got asthma.
Nah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna put something out.
I agree exactly what he said. Like, create your own lane. You're the best version of you.
Yeah.
And therapy.
Interesting.
Comedy's a dark place. There's a lot of negative spirits in the comedy world.
Be confident. There's a difference between being confident and thinking that you all that. A lot of people they start doing comedy and they bring a crowd of people and they feel like they're a star. They only been doing comedy for a couple of months or a year or two. And they haven't had those pitfalls yet. You know what I'm saying? And they listen to me. I remember somebody told me they. What did they tell me? Like they budget. That's what they said. What's your budget? I'm like, chill.
Mr. Bradford.
Okay.
Important words.
Yeah, this is what I want to say, y'all. Just think about it. What each one of y'all said. Okay. Create your own lane. Stay in your lane. Okay. You create a lane. There's a great lane. My man Ray Clinton. That's just like out here in the streets. You got that one lane. You got one lane. Oh shit, they construction. Then they get the other lane. Boom. Next thing you got four. Say you got 4 lanes. How look how wide and clean and people moving and on because it's more than one lane. Now that's what I just want to kind of challenge you guys. Get every black comic in San Antonio. If y'all got every black comic in San Antonio is out here doing this thing and create a soul night. One night, just one night out of the week where y'all come in and you don't have to do more than maybe 5 or 10 minutes. But just think, if at Bobby's Club, if they hear Alvin's gonna be there, Cliff, King, Ray, Debo, bring Snipes out. He'll come out all at one time, and y'all could doing 5 and create a. It's almost like a movement, man, of black comedy. Y'all say y'all bad, and y'all can't create. I mean, back in the day, we used to go to St. Louis, man. There was a club in St. Louis on Wednesday night called Sanford's. You could go in there. That's when Lavelle Crawford and them was coming up, and all the comics in St. Louis would be there at that night. And brothers in there eating chicken wings and onions and fries and I mean, having a great time. But they knew,
You come here to a open mic, okay, you might see King. Boom. You go to one of his and he hustling, you know, kind of by itself.
Hey, S.A. Kings of Comedy Part 3 coming soon.
But I'm just saying, though, you can create a night. Go ahead, Cliff. I'm sorry, man. Yeah.
I'm really glad that everybody came out. Cliff got to get ready to run. I think he's hosting. No, he's getting ready to go to a ball. But before we wrap up, I just want to say thank you to everybody, all the guests who came on the panel. Thank you to everybody who tuned in tonight. This is not going to be the last show. Our next show is going to be the women in comedy. We want to know comedy from a woman's perspective, and we want to get comics on here who are looking to promote, who are looking to educate, and who are looking to talk about business, and who are ready to make the community laugh. So I'm glad that everybody tuned in tonight. Again, this is Funny Business. I'm your host, Walter Perry, and thank y'all so much. Have a blessed night. Take care. Suit up.